The Life Finder keeps Maev up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of, no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal, though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill. Welcome back, everybody, to... Are you okay? Hold on a second. I will be right back. All right, busting plates in the kitchen is a great way to start the matchup here. We have Luciodology versus Randy Newman. And, again, this is actually going to be a good series between these two matches. Luciodology always has a bit of a slow start to the season, but they always end up being good playoff contenders. And Randy Newman has just been one of those teams that is really good at going up against anyone. They play up really well. And they've taken games off of the top teams in this division. So this is D West. We are looking here at the map pick and ban pool. Map pick went to Randy Newman. Luciodology banned out Dragonshire and Volskaya. Randy Newman took out Braxis and BOE. So 2 lane maps are off the table. Dragonshire and Volskaya are off the table. And we're going to go to Cursed Hollow for the first match. And let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Here we are. And on the blue side, we have Galactos on Lucio, Lemony Fresh playing Kira, Taklu on the Li Ming, Jay Regular on the Dahaka, and Hentron playing ETC. And on the other side of the map, we have Randy Newman and all the Randy Newmans, plus Nandy Newman, and that's about it. They're going to be playing Abathur, respectively. Johanna, the Butcher, Cassia, as well as Karazim. I'm not going to go through saying Randy Newman 5 times, so that's their team. We're going to see how the opening handshake goes. Take a quick look at the level 1 talents. Start off the match. Party Mix. One of those few talents you can get value out of after doing nothing in the first 10 seconds of the game. Fatal Wounds. The Fatal Wounds build has been pretty much the go-to build on Kira as far as I've seen from all levels of play. Enhanced Agility. Not exactly the most common pickup here, but should be good anyways. Like they had someone drop, but no one paused. But of course, replays just skip that. But yeah, enhanced agility is interesting. It definitely was meta at one point and still very much can get value, but it got nerfed to a degree where you don't get it stacked very quickly. And a lot of people just go for the tissue regeneration as the sustain in team fights is extremely valuable. Power Hungry, which is common on Li Ming, and of course Progrock. Getting those stacks nice and early. I actually would not have mind Block Party actually into this, but Randy Newman making an aggressive play, popping over to the other side, and taking the Bruiser camp. Good play, and something you can kind of pull off, but it is an Abathur comp. They find a Lucio, too, out in the middle of nowhere, and he gets killed. Wasn't watching. I mean, he must have known they were somewhere, given the fact they just walked to their side of the map and stolen their Bruisers. So Randy Newman starting this match off aggressive and good. And those stacks, 29 stacks on the Butcher. Now, early kills are always going to help get him stacked nice and quickly. And that's not what you want when you're up against a Butcher. He gets that 250 stacks super early in a match. It becomes difficult to win. But we are just back to lanes. Luckily, the spawn is going to be in favor of Luciodology on this, or for this siege camp. They're getting it maybe a tad early, but the 30-second warning is going to come up right now. They're going to go ahead and spawn that out. I actually don't mind that to some degree because it gets it up there and attacking the wall relatively around the time when you want to start fighting. And since Dahaka is on the other side of the map, that's good because he can help push that up too as well. Positioning is very good for Randy Newman. They're making sure that they are aggressively approaching this camp. They don't really need this. They can stall out till level 10 when they get there. But we're going to see an engagement coming out from Butcher right on top of Lucio. And unfortunately, there wasn't any good peels coming out to keep him alive. And that's going to be a pickoff and probably an objective here. Hawk is just going to stay in the top lane. They're just going to stall this out. But they're probably going to feed some more kills. And that's 83 stacks on the Butcher in the first 3.5 minutes of the game. And that is exactly what you want to be happening when you're running this style of comp. And with those kills and the double soaking capability of Abathur on big maps, you got a pretty good example of getting ahead in the macro, getting kills, and also getting the objective. I mean, that is a win if I've ever seen one for an Abathur comp on Cursed Hollow. Andy Newman realizing that fighting Kira is not fun as a Cassia or otherwise in a 1v1. Has to back out. Yeah, Kira, a lot of that damage comes from tick damage that is not mitigated by any means through running around like we see Cassia try to do. So it's a good play. Entron's going to stall out the rotation here, and that's good. Butcher almost on 100 stacks. Needs 210 for his completion. Well done there by Luciodology, making sure that no one could get a foothold in positioning. But the charge is going to come in from the Butcher. The follow-up is there. Lucio getting super low. The disengage trying to come out here by ETC and Kira, but Kira's going to be the one that goes down. Isn't able to use that D to get out because she, of course, had to use it to get in. And I need to greedily popcorn while still somehow managing to move the camera around. Ooh, salty. What type of plate was it? Okay. Well, that rotation was unfortunate for Li Ming. She gets picked off under her wall for that matter, but that's the thing. Lots of burst damage comes out from Karazim, Butcher, and Abathur. I mean, when they're running around like that, it's really tough to survive that, especially if you've already used your blink. ETC pushing up the bottom lane. Lucio hanging out in the mid. And great boss play here. So 2 objectives to 1. Boss. Good start. Haka pushing up. This camp's going to get some good value. It's actually going to get a couple shots here onto the wave, unfortunately. They're going to push in here on Dahaka, and the silence is going to come in. Isolation, he is gone. 7-sided strike and lamb to the slaughter. Pretty rough for Dahaka to deal with that. Randy Newman doing a really good job in this matchup. So Bosch is going to push top. We have 10s already in. And of course, all the things happen when I'm stuffing my face with popcorn.
I'm hiding it.
It was a really good initiation by Butcher there. Follow up with a falling sword. Lucio did manage to hit the sound barrier off, but wasn't enough to keep anyone alive there, and they lose too. That's 8 kills to nothing. Curse. Camp pushing up bottom lane. Boss pushing down top. And looks like Randy Newman's going to move into the mid lane. Clear that up, push it up while Abathur's getting nice, good clear in the bot lane. Engagement coming out with the 7-sided strike falling sword. That's going to kill ETC. You know, they've been really well executing these engagements, and there's just not a whole lot of answers that Luciodology seems to have for all this. They're going to go ahead and rate on engage, but there wasn't the kick in from Kira, and the counter engage comes out from Cassie, which does a lot of damage, and that's going to kill Dahaka. Bottom keep is gone. Abathur's working on the top keep during this curse. 7 seconds left. And in the meantime, Randy Newman's going to take the mid keep, or at least get half killed. There is a 4-man mosh pit, though. And with resets coming through, there should be lots of kills here. But no, it's in fact going to be Lucio that dies. Randy Newman does eventually go down. Butcher looking to get the kills back, but unfortunately, he does die. That's going to be it for that aggression. They do get finally on the board with 3 kills, but at what cost? Core's taking damage. Top keep's going to go down. There's pretty much no way they can clear this up in time. 2 keeps, half a mid keep. And Luciodology is not in a good spot. Turning around this game is going to be difficult. Especially with 240 stacks from the Butcher. But things have quieted down since the curse ended. We're going to see Luciodology maybe look for a fight here, but 16's just ticked. And Lucio was not in position. They do get the kill on the Butcher, though. And that's a good start. Isolation comes out on Johanna. There's a double stun. See if they focus their damage well here. They can get a kill onto Cassia, and it looks like that will be the case. She does go down with the final strike. Randy Newman is not going to be able to disengage here. Johanna dies. And that's another good team, the first real team fight that they've managed to pull off this game with a great pickoff from a bush gank. But Macro is in a rough spot right now, and I would like to see Dahaka split off to go deal with that. And it's like he heard me, because that's never mind. Yeah, well, it was moving towards it, but it looked like because Li Ming had no mana, they decided to have her be back to get it instead. But I still think it was the wrong play, because Dahaka could clear this up a heck of a lot more efficiently. Where Li Ming is taking a ton of damage and losing all of that mana she gained back just to kill some siege giants in the bottom lane. And even then, isn't going to be able to do a whole lot after the fact. Randy Newman managed to be able to get a lot of camps on the map. They're actually going for a boss here. They're not going to bother with the objective, which is smart, and they're going to go right for the boss. This is the right play. As a boss right here with no keeps in that lane could very well end the game. So I apparently went to rhyming school. A huge 5-man mosh pit. 4-man mosh pit. But the boss stuns it out. And unfortunately, things have turned around due to the boss stunning that out, and the rest of the team was not in position. 50 health for Henshaw, and he finally pops up to about 500, but I don't know if he's going to survive much longer back here. Yeah, there he goes. And with the basically full-man team wipe, those 4 people wiped in that fight. 5 now, with Butcher taking him out mid lane. I think we are seeing the end of the game bell chimes coming through here. As full health on the boss on the core, with 30 seconds out for the last team member to show up, I think is pretty much a set in stone. This is going to end. Although I would like to see the Butcher, focus on winning the game instead of dicking around in the mid lane trying to kill a port. But I guess it's a non-issue anyways. They do manage to get the win. That's going to be game number 1, going to Randy Newman. So that's your end of game statistics. It looked like there was a window for Luciodology to get back into this game. And any other time you land a 4-man, because there's no Abathur, 4-man mosh pit like that, you're usually going to get something good out of it. But unfortunately, it was right under a boss that they had just captured, and the rest of the team was not there for follow-up. So despite the fact that he did get 2, maybe 2.5 full seconds of stun on 4 members, just ended up kind of baiting them into a bad position that got them killed. But losing that boss in that situation was a pretty desperate spot to be in anyways, and probably would have translated to end of the game regardless. So it was a good play. But 280 snacks on the Butcher. But with that, regardless of that, Cassia actually still did way more damage. All-around good game. I suggested popcorn so that I could have a snack. You brought yourself over some pumpkin seeds. And losing it the whole time.
I made it.
I guess fair. Touche. All right. I'm going to pop us to a quick break while I set up game number 2. Be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be doing game number 2 here between Luciodology and Randy Newman. Randy Newman taking a pretty convincing game number 1 over Luciodology. See if they can bring it back in game number 2. Without further ado, let's go into the overview so we can see where we're going to. We're going to be getting Tomb of the Spider Queen, another map pick by Randy Newman, as I believe Luciodology went for first pick after the loss. And that's where we're at, so let's get into the game. On the blue side, we have Luciodology, Hinton playing the Stitches, Takulu on the Rainer, J Regular on the Blaze, Galactos playing Brightwing, and Lemony Fresh on the Kael'thas. And on the other side of the map, we have Randy Newman, Randy Newman on the Zeratul. We also have Sylvanas, Muradin, Orphea, and Lucio being played by Randy Newman. I'll let you figure out which ones. And alrighty, pop up the level 1 talent, see what we're looking at. Dagger build from Sylvanas. Convection from Kael'thas, of course. Polymorph build from Brightwing. And what the hell is that? Okay, hungry for more. I think on this map is actually really good. I mean, sort of. I don't think I've ever seen anyone take that talent. Wow, 5 convection stacks and a kill on Muradin on the first minute of the game. Luciodology took a long time to even get their first kills in the last game, so already changing the pace here in game number 2. Blaze Zeratul in the bottom lane. I think we have Cleave build. No, we don't. We're actually getting a move unseen. Interesting kind of choice there. If you're going to put Zeratul into the bottom lane, I'm not sure about that build. In fact, I'm not sure about move unseen, generally speaking. So Hinton is going to come in to get the hook onto Randy Newman, and he manages to pull it off and actually gets the kill. The counter damage came out, but it's the bombs here from Kael'thas that are doing a lot of work. That's going to be 1 kill, almost 2. Blaze barely gets away. And Sylvanas also really low on health. So, I mean, Kael'thas is killing it here. 8 stacks on Convection already. Considering how much damage he's managed to do so far, if he gets that thing stacked without dying, that's going to actually catapult his damage up significantly, especially as it gets into mid-late game. Interesting to see if he ends up going the full Flame Strike build too as well. So, another stack, another day, almost halfway there. Mana Tap, of course, if you're not going Mana Addict, Mana Tap often becomes the best option. I honestly don't mind the Spheres build all that much either. I think it actually has lots of value. But Mana Addict with the shields gives Kael'thas that level of protection. Like, see, nice hook over the wall onto Muradin. He's already used his leap, so I don't know if he can get out of here. Lucio doing his best to keep him alive, but they're just spreading the bombs around. He almost caught back up and killed him with it. We're going to see more turn-in, though, from Randy Newman, and that's pretty good from them. Hinton, not sure what he's doing out in the middle of the lane still, and that's exactly going to cost him. They need to pick up those gems, too, as well, because he dropped several of them, but now Randy Newman's kind of in trouble. He's down to 127 health. All right, well, they do get the kill. First blood on the board there, finally, for Randy Newman in this game, and they're 2 for 1. Now the rotation comes through. They're going to look to pick off the Rainer, and it looks like they're going to manage to do it. I don't think he can get quite out of here in time, and Brightwing might be going down with him. 100 health, barely gets out. Auto attack would have finished it, but they couldn't quite get in range to do it, so now things have evened up significantly for Randy Newman. Stall out comes in, but it's going to be an initiation immediately from the Muradin. I like how aggressive and how coordinated Randy Newman tends to be when it comes to those aggressive calls. You know, Muradin goes in and the rest of them are there. You see a lot of teams not do that, and especially in the lower leagues. But even in, sometimes I see it in B and A quite commonly, where the aggressive plays just aren't followed up on. Galacto's seeing if he can get a sneaky 13 in, but that's going to get stalled out immediately. But you should keep trying, keep them focused on this. They lose their focus, you can get an advantage from that. But almost a full turn in here for Randy Newman. 46 in. They only need 4 more gems. Good stun onto Brightwing, might force an initiation. But Randy Newman is going to have to step out of the circle for a small bit. He does Dwarf Toss in, that can be punished, but there's no one in position to do so. Blaze and Zeratul in a bit of trouble, Zeratul in a bit of trouble from Blaze. And the hook does come out from Stitches, but it's enough time to distract Luciodology from actually stopping the turning from happening. And again, this is such a weird Stitches build. It's a rated edge. I almost never see this. Huh. But yeah, there's going to be Flame Strike build. And Sticky Flare and Dream Shot. Also, a very interesting build. I don't have a lot to comment on it because I've just never seen either one of those builds before. Here comes the initiation, though, from the Muradin. They're going to see if they can get onto that Kel'Thas. And it's enough. There goes the kill. But Zeratul is traded out for it. And the question then becomes, is it worth? Especially when that was a 5-man rotation in the top lane to get the kill. Blaze is going to get a free clear on mid, or on top, or on bottom. Top's going to get cleared out before it even gets 2 towers. But the mid lane is getting pushed in pretty hard. That was a good adjustment by Randy Newman to kind of move into the mid lane. They're going to get a fort for this, and I don't think there's anything that Luciodology can currently do anything about it. The rotations from Stitches and Blaze were too slow. Blaze is finally going to come in, but he's really going to put himself in a bad spot. But it's actually Sylvanas who went too far in and is going to get killed. And I think actually Blaze might be able to secure the kill onto... Yep, he does. But he also dies in the process. So this is just one heck of a brawly match here. Teklu walks away with 35 health. While Zeratul, who missed the auto attack, is going to die. It's hard to say who really came out on top here. They did get a mid fort, and that trickle experience plus catapult pressure will be nice to have throughout the rest of the game. However, the extra experience soak in the bottom lane plus the additional kills pick up by Luciodology across the board has kind of put them significantly ahead in the race to 10. They're about to hit it right now on a turn-in, and that is not the position you want to be in if you're Randy Newman. So they're going to try to stall this out, but they don't want to do it too aggressively because right now they don't have 10s, and any type of aggression is going to pretty much translate into kills. And that's exactly it. They're not going to look for it. They're just going to go for the camp here to help push out the mid lane as best they can. Zeratul is in a bit of a spot, but it is Zeratul. He's a pretty slippery character. Hard to kind of lock down and get the kills on initially. And, alright, well, we're looking at 10s while we're at it. Blink, Heal, Pyroblast, Combustion, Rainer's Raider, and, of course, Gorge. I would love to see Putrid Bile a lot more. Gorge is one of those things that I think is really only valuable in very specific situations, and I don't think this comp really qualifies. On the other side, we have Crushing Jaws and VP, which is a great combo. And that's also going to be comboed with Avatar, Sound Barrier, of course, and most likely Wailing Arrow, but I still see Mind Control frequently enough to go ahead and say I don't know for sure. Also, instead of Crossfire, we have Grill and Kill, and I'm not a fan of that. I think Crossfire is a fantastic ability for Blaze. It gives him the option to be able to like good VP onto 5 targets into Crushing Jaws, but the Crushing Jaws was not timed out properly, so there's no value from that ult. Unfortunately, is going to turn this fight around. That's 2 ultimates already down, and a lot of damage coming onto Murd, and he's going to go down. And Gorge is going to find a Sylvanas, and I don't think E is available, so that's going to be a kill. I mean, it's still going to get value. I'm not saying that Gorge is a bad talent. I'm just saying that Putrid Bile sets up a lot of your engagements a hell of a lot better than Gorge does. Especially if you can't guarantee that you're going to be able to walk away scot-free with it. There's enough CC and dive and movement speed on the enemy team, which they have all of those tools. In a well-coordinated situation, it's kind of hard to get value out of Gorge. But we'll see. They got 1 kill off of it already, so that's, I could be wrong. That's in a back-to-back turn-ins just because of how that went. Andy Newman, I feel, is getting a bit aggressive. He's really trying to make things happen. This is a common trap of Zeratul across the board, me included. Quite often you feel like you're not getting any value out of the hero early, so you kind of try to force plays to happen. And quite often what that translates into is death. And I think this build is really hard to navigate. The movement speed's all right, but really it just makes it so that you don't have to mount. And you go invisible while mounted anyways. A really good hook into Gorge there, though. I mean, if you're going to get this kind of value with it, then it's not so bad. But look at that. The movement speed does make it difficult. And if you don't have the follow-up stuns, roots in place to get the kills, then I think that was also kind of poorly managed. Polymorph into gravity lapse into slows should have secured that kill. They were all there. They're all ready. They're all waiting. But the coordination was not there. So that wasn't Stitch's fault by any means. His team's follow-up was weak. Could have been better. But fantastic hook over the wall into Gorge. I mean, that was hell of good. Lucio most likely did not see that coming. However, they were doing all of that during a Webweaver phase, and I wonder if that was exactly really the wisest choice. They didn't really manage to get a whole lot out of it, and now Red's going to get their second Webweavers. And here's an opportunity for them to kind of turn things around as far as the macro game is concerned. They have 13s now. They can be aggressive here. It's 5-man from Luciodology to defend this top lane. And Zeratul's not postured up to get aggressive here, despite having all of their abilities ready to go. We want to see a good VP initiation on the rotation, and that's what they should do right here. Defend these 2 bottom lanes, but another hook into Gorge. And here I am eating my words. If you're going to be getting these consistently, I mean, then the talent doesn't seem so bad. And again, not to imply that it's bad. It's just, it's getting value. In this matchup, it is getting value. Really like Rainer's build. To be honest, probably the only one in this match that I totally agree with. This is very standard Orphea. This is not standard Lucio by any means. Although, reverse amp, sound barrier, that's all you really need altogether, and Party Mix plus Supersonic all seem a little odd. I don't like Grill and Kill, but the rest of this is good. Combustion. Haha. Stitch's build, though, is insanely weird. Cannibalize, though, is good. Gas Flare, again, not something I commonly see on the hero. VP is going to stall out any attempt to stop this boss from happening. They're going to turn that into a kill. That's the first good VP engagement we've seen. But Nandy Ruman, again, getting way ahead of the play, is going to actually end up getting killed. But it's still a 2-for-1. I'll take that trade with the boss any day of the week. And Zeratul did set up that fight very well. It was only a solo VP, but it was enough to stall out any attempt on the boss. I think they might have grabbed 2 because the Think Brightwing came in on it. And then they were able to just re-engage off of it, which is fantastic. But here's a hook Gorge. Is it going to be good enough? Yep, that's going to be a kill on Murden. And, you know, the big problem here with that is, I think they just lost 15 or 20 gems there, which is a big deal. So, top lane's going to get defended out. All forts are down for Luciodology, but they are 16s. They do have the next turn-in available, and Randy Newman is significantly off of a turn-in. So, things could start to turn around here for this team. They're going to get Fishing Hook, probably the only standard meta talent I've seen taken here out of this whole line. But there, Rainer was doing so well all the way up to Bounty Hunter. I mean, they've got some beef with the Muradin on the front line, but Paint Them Red just gives you so much survivability. I quite often can't see a world where I don't take that talent. It's just too good. Great hook onto Lucio again. These fishing hooks, these hooks in general from Stitches have really set the pace in this game. And so they are going to get the turn in. Randy Newman looking for an engagement in the mid, and they've been doing a good job, but that's going to be a hook gorge on Murden again. They're not going to be able to get to the wall in time, so he should be able to leap out. And the follow-up CC just was not there. Silence into a double stun from the crushing jaws. Top lane's getting auto-cleared out. That was kind of the other thing, too, as well, about Gorge that I don't like, is the fact that it kind of puts you in reverse motion. Instead of moving forward, they spend a bunch of the time during this web weaver phase moving backwards, and not getting the kill doesn't help, but that's a great hook on the Lucio. That's going to be a kill, and that'll help start turning things back into their favor. Bottom lane is full health almost. So if they can just make the rotation down, great hook again onto Zeratul. He doesn't dodge it. Very regular, looking to see if they can find him, but misses that, but hits the stun, and that should be a kill. I don't think Zeratul can get out of here, but and he doesn't. The Raider actually gets the kill, but I am still quite disappointed by Luciodology's macro here. Like, that's a full web weaver wave, and despite getting 2 kills off of it, only going to get mid fort, and they're not even getting it with the web weavers. They're just getting it because they got the kills. You didn't even need web weavers for that. You could just kill them. If you're just going to play off the hooks, just hold those gems, wait till you kill everyone, then take the turn in. I mean, if that's what you're going to do. But I shouldn't probably be talking too much crap here considering they are ahead. I'm just thinking that this is the thing with the hook gorge. It puts you in a reverse motion, and that one movement, that one play where they went all the way back here to kill a Murden, actually pretty much destroyed any advantage they were going to get out of the web weavers. And win conditions are hard to come by on this map. You have web weavers, and you have the boss. Boss was already taken by Randy Newman, and web weavers were the one advantage that Luciodology had macro-wise in this game. Now it's going to get stalled out even longer. They're behind the turn-in from Randy Newman. If Randy Newman turns these fights around in their direction, then things are not going to go so well. There's a hook that doesn't land. And when hooks don't land, that should be the go button for Randy Newman. I'm going to point out here, too, as well, that Kael'thas has not stacked his convection. But that hook onto Orphea is definitely going to be a problem. The CC is there, and that's going to secure the kill. 4-man VP, but why? What does that do? The only thing it does is it stalls out something, or them moving from lane to lane, while you count down for your Orphea to come back. It was a great VP. You hit 4 people, but Orphea is dead. She's your main follow-up. You need the crushing jaws into the wailing arrow to get that combo set up to get the kills. If you're not going to put that all together, there's no point for that VP, and it literally did nothing. Now VP is not available while they have 2 dead with another great hook kill. And Randy and Luciodology is just looking really solid. See, Zeratul's moving up on the backline, but he has no threat because there is no Void Prison now. And that's another kill. Raynor just absolutely destroying Sylvanas. I'm going to point out here the reason why that is. This build, I don't understand it at all. Windrunner is good talent on its own, but when it shares one with Remorseless, it just doesn't seem like a good talent. And additionally, there's 2 other talents that you can take over Evasive Fire. The only time you take Evasive Fire, in my opinion, is when you have double support. You got Tassadar, you got something to give you the extra sustained heals you need. Kael'thas is about to finally make that convection at level 20. Super good value out of that talent. What you want to go here is Will of Forsaken or go for the Life Drain. Both of those talents are better, and Life Drain in particular wins you that fight. Where she died here in the bottom lane against Raynor, she doesn't die. She wins that fight more times than not. On the other side, Master Warblade Assassin. I mean, this is very much a standard like W build without the W and without the level 1 E, which is unfortunate. And he's setting up, there's a very good possible VP happening right here. Great silence onto that Brightwing is going to cost them a kill. 4-man stun from Jay Regular. You know, he has been flexing this whole game on this Blaze. And that VP is a desperation move and it's going to cost them anyways. That Combustion is going to get the kills. There goes Sylvanas. Andy Newman can't do anything. He has to back out. Pyroblast is going to come out onto Lucio. And Sound Barrier had already been used in that fight. And that's just going to be the march to the core. Boss ends the game. Victory here. Randy Newman is going to take game number 2 and get back in the series. Sorry, not Randy Newman. Luciodology is going to take game number 2 and get back in the series here. Well played. Across the board, solid game from Luciodology. Randy Newman played well. I still have questions about some of these talent picks, but I can nitpick that all day. And in the end, the results are the results. But Convection was finally stacked at the end of the game. Well done. Yeah, Bounty Hunter probably helped Raynor in that fight too. This is a good talent. I just like Paint Them Red more. There's the stats. We'll show that for a little bit while I get set up for game number 3 here between Luciodology and Randy Newman. Bye, popcorn. Yeah. That sucks. Yeah, just take him back. Anyways, we're back. I love how we started this out so casually. How's it going, everybody? I'm sure there's tons of people watching my midnight in Mountain Time stream of Luciodology versus Randy Newman, but that's okay. You don't have to. This is all going to be on VODs, by tomorrow-ish. So, here we are, game number 3. Oh, I did not press the update button. Oh, I didn't put the map up. That would make sense. Update. There we go. So, Randy Newman took first pick. Luciodology takes map pick, and then we're going to go to Infernal Shrines for game number 2. Or number 3. So, let's just get into it, shall we? On the blue side, we have Luciodology, Hentron on the Mirrodin, Teklu on the Sylvanas, Lemony Fresh playing Azmodan, Galactos playing Lucio, and Dre Regular on the Blaze. And on the other side, we have Randy Newman with ETC, Cassia, Medivh, Anna, and of course, Johanna. So double tank composition with an Anna, Medivh, Cassia. Interesting. Definitely viable. Johanna's good on this map in particular with the wave clear capabilities and good on the shrine. ETC is okay at offlane, like he's not a bad choice. And with stage dive, you get a bit of a global off of that, which is nice. And having a bit of engagement capable heroes with the Medivh, not bad. And Cassia is definitely great follow-up. Like, she can definitely kill things. Like, she's got a lot of damage capability. Especially these days, probably an underplayed hero. And maybe one that I personally should play more frequently. But Teklu is going to pick up the Sylvanas. And we got Mirrodin and Lucio, which was all 3 heroes on the side of Randy Newman last game. So kind of swap some things around a little bit there, at least. The Medivh was unprecedented. I was not expecting that in particular. Blaze is already working on trying to do double soaking here, trying to help that Azmodan stack up. We're gonna go look at the level 1 talents here as well. It is going to be Gluttony. This is one of the more common ones. The one that almost no one takes these days is Wrath, which is funny because it's the one I like the most. So of course it is the least meta. And Charge Strikes. I like Charge Strikes on Cassia. It's such a good talent. Really good AoE damage that's very hard to avoid. Good at picking off retreating targets too as well, because you think you're out of range, but instead you're just taking a bunch of damage. It's actually very similar to the level 13 talent Remorseless from Sylvanas. And 40 stacks already on that Azmodan is pretty good. Could be higher, but it's decent. It's not bad. It's a good start. I think keep that up. The Azmodan can ramp up really quickly. Now the portal's coming in. Regular didn't even react to it. Like, if the rest of the team on Randy Newman was on point, they could have killed him, as he did not back up immediately as soon as that portal came up. He just kind of stood there. But he was able to walk away, and the rest of the engagement wasn't in place, so there you go. I wonder with a composition like this, when you have the Medivh, if maybe you do swap the Johanna and the ETC, at least until level 10. Because ETC actually threatens people with that type of dive. Like, he actually has the ability to power slide onto targets off of the portals. When it comes into the late game, then it's not such a big deal. And Johanna can clear up against a Blaze any day of the week. It's not like there's a super threatening offlane target or player or hero in that lane. It's just another tank. Blaze is great, and I'm a big fan of the hero. He's probably one of my... When I play frontliners, he's one of my favorites to play, like, flat out. And there we go. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. The engagement is better. They do manage to peel away as their main form of damage was not available. Had Cassia made the rotation with them, that was a dead Blaze 100%. And this is the issue with Medivh comps in general, is all of the pieces have to fall together consistently across the board all game. If you're not getting those rotation pickoffs happening as they should, it tends to not work out as well as you'd like it to. Great 3-man power slide, though, is going to put a lot of pressure onto Luciodology, and I think they're finally going to get the pickoff on that Blaze, but no, he gets peeled out. Murden, Lucio doing their job and making sure he survives, although coming out here at all is probably a risk, but thing about Blaze is he does have a lot of ways to get health back quickly. There goes another double stun, one onto Murden, one onto Sylvanas. Entron saving his dwarf toss to make sure he survives, and now Cassia overstepped and is in big trouble. The Protector going to keep her alive. Lucio getting there to get the damage done, and look at this. Asmodan, what a big stun. Blaze was doing this all game too as well last set, and we just saw that come through. Oh man, those painkillers have helped out a lot. I was so out of it today. Anyways. Yeah, so I mean that stun, that 3, this is what makes Blaze really good on this shrine especially, is that those 3-man stuns can just be devastating. There is the rotation. Wow. They came in quick, but they didn't find a good target, and that is a problem. You have to be able to call it the target you want to kill, lock them down, and get the kills. Good power slide. It's going to maybe put a bit of pressure on the Hentron, but the Punisher popping in could be a real problem. Look how much damage that Mortar Punisher does. It's so nasty. Even in the early game, it took so much health off of all of those targets just getting hit by it. Mortar Punishers are just great now. I really think they're fantastic. There's a nice slide onto Hentron, and that's enough to get the kill. Well played. No one is macroing at the moment. These early forts mean very little in the long run of things. You generally want to get the value out of Sylvanas, of course, but in these situations, you kind of want to probably toss your offlaner off and get that experience advantage that you can get, because they have to respond to this. And if you toss one down, they have to toss one down. And if they don't, then you're going to get an experience lead whether you get this fort or not. They even 5-man this fort, but because they're 5-manning the fort, they're 5-manning the fort. And that makes the defense harder. And so you're not getting extra value out of it. So just keep that in mind. In early Punishers, you almost always want to split off your offlaner. You never want them there. If you're sieging into 5v4, don't hard siege, soft siege. But you're going to get value elsewhere because they're not matching the experience soak. And apparently one of our cats has decided that it wants to be a virtuoso and has turned on by itself the keyboard and is currently playing the keyboard. Well done, Spike. I said she's a clever cat all this time. She's by far the most intelligent cat that we've had in this litter. No doubt about it. It's one of those things you should pop your phone up and record. Such a clever kitty, Spike. How'd you even turn that thing on? It probably was already on. Mabuga, maybe he didn't turn it off. Sorry guys, I'm getting distracted by this cat playing a keyboard. But, oh, a good stun on Randy Newman, but he's near his tower, so he can be able to... It's like you're waiting for me to talk. And then pressing the buttons to interrupt. This cat. Oh my god. Oh, here comes the big engagement. Huge asthma damage. In fact, enough to get the quest completed, the initial quest completed. All right, she's done playing. She did her concert. That was good enough. They didn't get the kills off of that engagement, though. A cat. Well, you know. So they're getting a lot of front wall damage here, pressing up on this fort fantastically. And now they can pressure up onto the shrine, though I think that they should have kind of been doing this simultaneously. They're just giving opportunities for them to get reset. And now a good engagement coming out on Hentron. Polymorph is going to prevent him from getting out. Sleep is also going to make sure he can't quite toss out, but it wasn't quite enough. The damage wasn't there to get the kill. Getting a slow rotation in by Cassia means that they're not going to get it, but Teklu is in big trouble. That's going to be a kill. 65 health, gets the E out, but J Regular is going to pay the price instead. And I don't think Lactose is going to get out of here either. That was a good engagement, but the ETC power slide was not there. And this is exactly what I was talking about. They had an opportunity to get a significant advantage on this shrine, and they didn't really take it. They could do both. They can pressure up this mid lane, and they could have put pressure onto getting this this shrine simultaneously, and they didn't really do that, and I think that's a bit of a shame. But they are still ahead, and now the engagement's coming through, despite getting the kill onto Blaze, who's about to show up now. They're putting a lot of pressure onto them, but Hentron is in trouble. I mean, Avatar or not, he's going to die here, but a huge 4-man stun into a combustion is going to turn things around for them. They're going to get the kill onto Cassia and perhaps more. Randy Newman is going to get picked off by the Asmodan. He does have his stacks already, so at least there's no resets happening. And that's going to be a victory there for Luciodology on the mid-shrine. Fantastic plays. Oh, they're going to continue pressing up here on the mid fort. Frozen Punisher means this threatens keep. No doubt about it. Especially with Sylvanas. It just means this thing does not take damage. One little tip is you can go through these sidewalls and then you can get the pressure onto them. They're not going to be free attacking this. Free attacking that. Now it's taking pretty much consistent damage from the keep and will be going down soon. But they do get the kill onto Cassia and Medivh, and that's actually a really terrible spot for Randy Newman to be in. The keep's going to go down. I don't think they can get more, though. The death timers are still pretty short, and 13s are right around the corner for Randy Newman. So it didn't just threaten keep, it took a keep. That is definitely... And 2 kills. So keeping 2 kills is definitely not what you want to get out of that exchange. Again, we're going to be getting this build. But I will have to say, 75 stacks is pretty good. My buddy Ryokai has pointed out, though, if you're not hitting 125 stacks roughly by about now in the game, you hit 125 stacks, you break about even with Might of the Banshee Queen at level 1. There's plenty of talk about what is best at level 7 with Sylvanas. Festering Wounds, I think, has some value for sure. I personally like the Q talent. But some people believe that it's not good because it can be manipulated by positioning. However, I feel like the skill it requires for people to make that manipulation, and it's still against your skill as well, doesn't necessarily make it a great counter. It's hard. Very hard to do. So good stun coming through, but it misses, unfortunately. But so much of that oil means there's no way he's going, and the body blocks secure the kill on Johanna. It was an aggressive play. I do like the idea behind the aggressive plays, but here's the problem. You don't have your damage with you. You can't think of Medivh as your main damage dealer. He can do damage, and he can do a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong. But even with the fact that Cassie is split consistently, he's still 11,000 less in damage. And that's kind of the point. Cassia is what you need on those invades. You can do it 4-man with a split ETC with stage dive, but there's no reason Cassia should have been cleaning out mid lane during that aggressive play. So now we're going to get the stage dive plus falling sword. Interesting combination. But it's actually Medivh that goes down. Nano boosted Cassia is not getting the job done, unfortunately. Everyone kind of able to back out a huge 4-man stun after a 3-man combustion is going to be kill after kill after kill after kill after kill. And that is Randall Newman just barely getting out. And unfortunately, with the Muradin, he's able to actually get the kill. And that's a 5-man team wipe. And this is going to be the game. Luciodology turning it on in game 1 and 2, or sorry, in game 2 and 3 to make the reverse sweep happen and secure the 2-1 victory over Randy Newman. And I have to say, Randy Newman played a very solid 3-game set. They were well ahead in game number 1 and got a good victory off of it. Game number 2 was a close match, was not by any means one way or the other, and just sort of happened to end up in their direction. And game number 3, I think, was a draft issue. And not necessarily in the sense that it was a bad draft, though I don't care for the Ana in this. I think you're way better off with the Tyrande. But mostly what I felt like the issue was there wasn't enough cohesion. And Medivh comps are hard to execute. They really require good communication with everyone knowing exactly what their roles are in a Medivh comp. And I felt that there was too much disconnect with this team in this matchup to make what they needed to happen, especially with the tools available to Luciodology. And so they kind of end up coming out with the victory 2-1. It was a good set, though. Congratulations. That's going to be it. So that's going to be that. It's almost 1 a.m. my time, so I think I might be calling it there for the stream. I mean, I do have the ability to do another one, but I think I want to go do some other things, so that's going to be it. I'm going to call it there. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I'll get these posted up and hopefully get some more replay casts in tomorrow, as well as some live casts as well. So we'll catch you around. Thank you for being here. Please do hit the follow button if you have not. Of course, any subs, you have your Twitch Prime and you're not using it, I totally appreciate it, as well as biddies and of course the tip jar at the bottom. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just hitting the subscribe button at the bottom. There's lots of videos that'll be coming out throughout the rest of the season into the next season. I might even look into doing some Heroes Lounge caching. I'll talk with the guys there to see if there's also between season stuff that tends to happen too as well. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, thanks so much, everybody. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you around.